We on? We live, yeah? Welcome to Modern Muscle UK. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the smartest way to lose body fat. Max, what are we going to be getting up to?
Getting up to showing you the exact kind of workouts that you need to be factoring in and doing to most efficiently lose body fat.
Bosh. Let's get into it. So one of the biggest mistakes people make is not understanding how to create an energy deficit. Now they also think that doing that is all about the workouts that they do in the gym. Yes, granted, you can do that, but there's a big part of what you do outside of the gym that helps you balance up this concept.
An energy deficit is very simply consuming less calories than you are burning. I was chatting about in the last video how to break down the most efficient fat loss routine. I would always go with a full body split and go for at least 3 to 4 sessions per week. That is going to be your sweet spot. Here's how I would break them down.
Full body workouts are really important. As you can see here, Max is doing a goblet squat. He's obviously working his legs along with some of the other muscles along with his body. Now, traditionally what people would do is do their exercise. Say he does 4 sets of 10 repetitions. He would then go and rest in between that. So as you can see here, Max is in his rest period. He'll probably be sitting here for the next 2 to 5 minutes, scrolling through the More Than Muscle podcast or whatever Instagram he likes to flick through. Not very effective, and a lot of time is wasted. Alternatively, you can use a method that is called supersets. It's like circuiting exercises. So as you can see, Max is now doing his exercise of a goblet squat. When he's finished his desired repetitions, he would go straight into another exercise. This is an upper body exercise, so you would see him doing a push-up. Again, he might be doing anywhere between 10 to 15 repetitions, but it makes his workout way more efficient because it gets his heart pumping, he burns more calories, and he gets more done in less time.
So you can superset in lots of different ways. So Andy here is doing a reverse lunge for us. The reason why you might want to be pairing these exercises as opposed to being sat on a treadmill is that you're still going to be keeping your heart rate elevated. So Andy's obviously working, his heart rate increases, and then we keep working as we go straight into the next exercise. Well done, mate. Andy's going to move into a bent over row now for us. So when we're talking about rest periods, ideally, if we're trying to keep that heart rate elevated, we want to minimize the rest period so we can still recover, but obviously we still want that heart rate elevation. So anywhere between 30 and 90 seconds between the superset. Yeah, so once he's completed both exercises, he would then rest for that period of time. If you're moving from one to the other, obviously there's a slight transition oftentimes if you're moving from one machine to another, but realistically you want to keep that to a minimum. Right, I'm actually going to call out the big man here. So the superset we just saw him doing, what are we doing? A reverse lunge into? Bent over row. Yeah, so those are 2 grip-centric exercises where he's required to hold on to as much load as possible. Now, I don't want his grip strength to limit the amount he can actually put through his lower body in his lunge or the amount he's going to row. So that pairing isn't necessarily optimal, so maybe I'd want to pair something which isn't going to fatigue that if I'm putting exercises together.
First lunge in that, making me look bad, bruv. So for example, as you can see, Max is now doing his reverse lunges as we were speaking. Grips getting taxed as well as his legs. So pairing, instead of the bent over row, we can now do his overhead press, and the interaction between his grip and the exercises is no longer a problem.
The way I would break these workouts down is smart pairings, putting exercises together that are going to complement each other. And the reason why you would go full body as opposed to a split routine, like an arm day, a chest day, is that your output is going to progressively get worse throughout the session. If you do 6 chest exercises, the first 2 might be pretty good, 3 and 4 might be all right, and then 5 and 6 are effectively terrible in terms of your output. So you'd be much better served breaking those up across the week and doing 2 sets per muscle group in each of your sessions.
So if you want to go one step further and take it a bit more from supersets, we also recommend things like triceps and giant sets. So a tricep is just basically 3 exercises back to back as opposed to 2. So as you can see here, Max is doing an RDL. He'll then move into his next exercise, which is now an upper body, and he'll be overhead pressing. From here, he would then move into, say, a core exercise. Again, these kind of setups will help us get more done in less time, keep your heart rate working, stimulate enough muscle tissue, and get loads of bang for your buck. Thing that you don't want to be doing is getting on treadmills and doing endless amounts of kilometers just to burn calories. The purpose of doing resistance training is so that you can stimulate muscle tissue whilst you're also burning the body fat and creating that energy deficit. If you're new to these styles of workouts, Max, just don't do curls, anything but curls.
Giving the people what they want.
Okay. So Max will get into his squats. So if you're new to these kind of workouts, you're looking at doing anywhere between 8 to 10 exercises and anywhere between 10 to 15 repetitions. Yeah, Get your heart pumping and your muscles stimulated.
You're going to find it much easier to create a calorie deficit from your food because you've got to think about the time you're going to have to invest into it. Realistically, people have jobs, people have responsibilities. You haven't necessarily got the time to be in the gym working out 4, 5, 6 hours if your diet is terrible. So to simply compensate for that, sort that out, and then good things will happen.
And for me, the biggest part of this is whenever you work out, there's like a residual fatigue factor that goes up. And so it's a lot easier to chase the calorie deficit from your food than continuously chip away at trying to make bigger deficits happen from your workouts, because you're just going to hit a wall. Typically, you're looking at between 300 to 500 calories when you're creating your deficit, which looks like between 10 to 30% of your overall intake. Big part of not only having a calorie deficit is hitting your protein target. Now, protein is important for 1, helping us build muscle, 2, immunity, and 3, just your overall repair. So the protein is important in this regard.
When you're hitting your protein targets, you need to be making sure that you're going for a wide variety of protein. All protein isn't created equal, not all of it is complete protein, and you want to make sure you get it from a variety of sources.
In terms of intake, you're looking at anywhere between 1.3 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight.
Sometimes if you're keeping your calories really low, it can be quite hard to hit that upper echelon of your protein target. So sometimes a supplement is useful. Not for everyone, but obviously if you're on limited calories, it's a useful tool. Don't be afraid of it.
And as Max says, if you're on low calories, protein is the thing that helps us spare muscle the most, but equally it's the thing that helps us with our satiety, so keeping you fuller for longer.
Going to get a little bit sciencey now. Protein also has a higher thermic effect of food, so your body expends more energy breaking down and processing protein than it does any of your other macronutrients, so your fats and your carbohydrates. So protein will effectively mean your body burns more calories just from eating it. And he's cutting some shapes. So what we're going to do, we're going to break down the health markers that are really, really important and reasons why you should be resistance training that aren't just losing body fat. Okay, I'm going to do one and he's going to do one. We're going to ping pong until someone runs out. I'm going to say improves your blood pressure.
Improve sex drive.
Reduce joint pain.
More muscle mass.
More curls, more girls.
The ability to eat more food.
More energy levels.
Reduce stress.
Improve performance at work.
Better sleep.
I want the countdown clock. I'm running out. Now I'm out. Most of your calorie burn for a day actually comes from NEAT or non-exercise activity time. So that is basically just going to be you walking around, walking to work, doing all your daily activities, and that is going to be the real key to maintaining that calorie deficit.
So 10,000 steps is what is recommended when we speak about trying to burn 500 calories just from walking and low-level activities.
A little bit of trivia for you though, that 10,000 step count actually comes from a pedometer advert, which was, I think, from the 1968 Olympics. I'm not sure if it's 68, I think it was somewhere in the 60s. But that 10,000 is a little bit arbitrary. So if you can hit more than that, fantastic. If you're a little less, fine. But just shoot to keep the highest step count you can possibly get.
So another big part of helping yourself lose body fat is sleep. Now, as you can see, Max is playing Sleeping Lions, sleeping using a dumbbell as his pillow, dedication. But over the many years that we've been working with clients, we've seen those who sleep the best get the leanest. And that's because a lot of the things that you do on a daily basis actually... Sorry, this guy's too hilarious. That's because a lot of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis is impacted by the way you feel, your emotional state, etc. And so having good quality sleep will help you do this.
Make sure your room is as dark as possible, a little bit on the chilly side, and you kill all possible light and distractions. Ideally, don't go on your phone or any sort of blue light, TV, those sorts of things an hour before bedtime. Limit your caffeine consumption. All that good stuff will lead to better quality sleep.
Now, on the topic of making good decisions, water is a big part of keeping you hydrated, and ultimately, those who are not hydrated, dehydrated, will make poorer decisions when it comes to the foods that they select, because your emotional state is dictated by that. So stay hydrated. The formula is 0.033 times your body weight. So if you do that, you'll know exactly the amount of water you should be ingesting.
Right, so as you know, I'm the ops guy. Don't know about all the intricacies of what they do. I just come here, show up, they guys tell me what to do. But what I do know, if I was you right now, is that you're going to expect to do 3 to 4 different workouts in one. in one workout. Is that right, Andy? Could just give me a nod if that's right. I think that was right anyway. Which means, basically, if you're like me and you're not really interested in intricacies, you just want the results, basically it's going to be much more efficient. So if you're ready to make your workouts more efficient, to get a better relationship with food, sleep and exercise, then there's going to be a link somewhere, even in the description, somewhere in this YouTube video. Subscribe, like, share with a friend, because this might just be the thing that's going to change your life. I can tell you from my life, health is what's made me respect myself, believe in myself, grow confidence. So if you're ready to have a little bit more confidence, get fitter, get healthier, lose a bit of weight, this is going to be for you. Listen, it's the Ops Guy. Peace out. Let's go.